According to a massive new report from Politico, 3 sources confirmed to the outlet that in the final 2 weeks of his presidency following the January 6th Capitol riot all the way through to January 20th, Donald Trump had multiple different phone calls with individuals imploring how he could, in fact, issue blanket pardons for the Capitol rioters. Now, this plan, of course, according to these individuals and according to what we know, didn't happen. But now we know for certain that he wanted to do it, that he wanted to pardon these individuals. And of course, some of the roadblocks that he ran into, according to these individuals, were one, nobody had been charged. I mean, nobody really had been charged with actual crimes and, potential sentencing and trials set up. None of that had happened. These people had barely even been arraigned at that point. Most of them hadn't even been identified yet. So the lawyers in the White House, according to these sources, said, listen, you can't do it because we don't even know who these people are. So we don't think you can just issue a pardon for anyone at this event and then people pop up later, oh, I was there. Nah, it doesn't work that way. Then, of course, even if you could identify all these individuals, they weren't even sure what a blanket pardon would look like because, of course, each person kind of gets charged with different things, some more extreme, some less extreme, some federal violations, some not federal violations, which you couldn't pardon. So ultimately, the whole thing fell apart. But the fact that he wanted to do it tells us everything. And more importantly, because just a few days ago in Texas during that rally, he suggested that he might pardon some of these individuals if they were treated unfairly. He added that caveat. And of course, if he gets back in office in 2024, he may issue those pardons. So now we've got a real situation on our hands where Donald Trump probably would issue those pardons. Now, I had said in a video over at Ring of Fire, following his comments on Saturday, that Trump was basically blowing smoke, that he had no intention of following through with his maybe I'll pardon him, maybe I won't thing, because obviously he didn't pardon him to begin with. But now we find out that he did attempt to do that. So I have to amend that statement. Yeah, I think Donald Trump absolutely would follow through on it. And it would be fairly easy for him. The only problem he may have, of course, is that most of the sentences would be over. Most of the sentences have been exceptionally light, and most people are not going to jail for it. So to accept a presidential pardon is an admission of guilt. Now, of course, the people with plea deals do, of course, plead guilty. But do you accept the pardon? That's a question, I guess, for another day. Problem is, of course, the fact that these individuals have to be treated the same way anybody else would be through the law, through the justice system. Pardons are reserved for individuals who were likely innocent but got convicted anyway. For people who received too harsh of a sentence. That's what it's supposed to be for the president to right a wrong. What's happening to these Capitol rioters is not a wrong. Unless, of course, you think that they're not being sentenced harshly enough, which most of the judges, for the record, feel that way. They feel like these people are getting off too easy. But Donald Trump wants to let them off even easier. And he almost did it before he left office. Another piece of this weird puzzle here is the fact that a lot of these people have been very outspoken with saying recently they did what they did because Donald Trump enraged them. He got them riled up. He's the catalyst that started all of this. So I don't think it's a coincidence that we now have Donald Trump publicly saying he might offer them pardons. He knows they're throwing him under the bus and he wants to try to stop it. That's another, again, piece of this very weird puzzle that we have to take into consideration. So there you have it. I mean, that's what we know so far. And I'm sure, of course, as the investigations with the January 6th committee continue, we're going to learn a heck of a lot more. But what we know so far, what we've learned in the last week, he wanted Pence to overthrow the election. He wanted Homeland Security to seize the voting machines, and he wanted to pardon everyone that took part in the Capitol riot. Three major things that could have been, major developments for this country that put us on the wrong path forever. And we've learned about all three of these things in the last 4 days. Imagine what we may know a week from now.